YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a story time on
my experience with my vasectomy.
If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and comment if you have any questions or if you like this video and you want more of it. I don't think we've ever really done a video on how we met, so if you want a video like that to go into more detail on our story, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you don't know too much about our story, just a little background, little recap about us. We met in college. I was 18 when we met, so we started our family out pretty young. After we met in college, got married 2 years later, and here we are now, 3 kids in, and finally just decided to end it there. We posted a video on Instagram, Instagram reel, and it got like 12 million views. And a lot of people were just giving us a hard time about our decision to get a vasectomy. And there were a lot of good comments too, but there were questions and things like that. So we wanted to make a video to talk more about it. So how would you say we came about that decision in getting a vasectomy? Or for you getting a vasectomy?
Yeah, I think we had mentioned it prior to having one more. I think we knew we wanted one more kid because we just felt like, hey, maybe there's a girl in our future. We're Christians, so we believe that God has a plan for us, and that for our family there could be sons and daughters. And so wanted to give one more try to see if there was a princess out there for us. But nonetheless, obviously love the child that we received, that God would entrust us with. And it happened to be Kyrie, and we were blessed. We thought it was awesome. We had another son, 3 boys, and I was raised with three sisters, only boy. So my take on that is God gave me my brothers that I've always wanted as sons. So but yeah, so prior to having Kyrie, she had mentioned it. She would show me videos and send me information on it.
And at that time, I wasn't like serious about it.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of a joke, and but we did talk about like, well, what are we gonna do to prevent childbirth again, because she was having she already had a hard time with the first 2, and so she was definitely looking at an effective way. Pills, birth control pills were always out of the question.
And just the other forms of birth control, I'm just not for me.
Yep.
Just my personal research on birth control and what it does to your body with your hormones, and just I don't want to talk about it too negatively because I know that's probably the only option for some people.
We were wondering what we're gonna do, and so when we were pregnant with Kyrie, or when she was pregnant with Kyrie, I would find her crying in the shower. This was early on in the pregnancy. Obviously the vomiting, she's always been that's something that she's always done in the first trimester, that a lot of women do, is have morning sickness, and those are things that they get hard. Shout out to the husbands that can, and the women obviously that go through it, but also the husbands that can watch. That's a hard thing to see. And so I'd watch her throwing up in the bathroom in the mornings, and then crying in the showers, and just crying in general, and that's tough. So we knew that, I knew that this is probably it. This is probably it for sure. You never know until it's over with. And so when Kyrie was born, I waited a few months, even though she knew for sure we wanted to be done. And the vasectomy talk was on the table. It was serious this time, and I was all for it. I just wanted to make sure that she was ready for that this was it, because you can reverse a vasectomy, but it costs a lot of money, and then it's not always 100% effective. So, and there's still other ways to have children, even if you've had a vasectomy. But like I said, they cost a lot of money, and so you got to be sure. You have to really be sure. And
that was a question. That was a question if it's reversible.
Yeah, that
A
was
lot
the
of
question.
people were asking that in the comments.
Yeah, so it is. It's just not always 100% effective if it is reversible, and sometimes it reverses on its own. So that is something that does happen. It could potentially reverse unintentionally, and then you're pregnant again if that happens. When it got to when Kyrie was about 3-4 months old, and I knew that she was serious, quite a bit of time had gone by. I mean, I didn't want to wait a year to find out if that's really what she wanted. So I made the appointment, and luckily for me, the appointment was like a month or two out because the urologist was kind of busy. And so that gave me more time to say, all right, this is real. I have an appointment. You have this time to really think about whether this is what we really want to do, because it was a decision between her and I. Even though this is what even though she's the one that carries the child, she still she wanted more kids. We both did. But it was just a decision that we felt was right for us. So even all the way up until the appointment, she was sure. And as long as she was sure, I was good. If she had any inkling of doubt, then I was going to cancel that appointment and we're going to think about it again. But no, she was fine. She was ready. And so if she was ready, I was ready. So yeah, that's how we came to the decision.
And it's not like I wasn't sad or anything. I was. Obviously, like we said, we wanted more kids. Pregnancy was painful. The after is painful. The recovery. Being a mom in general is hard. With each time, it just got harder for me. I don't know why. I know that's not everybody's experience, but that was mine. So that was just something that we started to think about, and it's not like I wasn't sad because I wish that my body could handle it again and again, but I just came to that decision after having Kyrie, like for sure that I just can't do it again. And I was having those thoughts throughout the pregnancy, but I was still unsure up until when it was getting close to the appointment that even though I'm sad because I do want more kids, I also know for sure that my body can't handle another pregnancy or recovery or any of that. So that's and I felt good. Like even till this day, it's like it's almost been it's been about 7 months, and I don't know, I still feel good about our decision. So we'll just explain a little bit about the actual process of a vasectomy. So he made an appointment, like he said, it was like 1 to 2 months until he actually went in.
Yeah. So I went in. The first thing I did was I went in with the urologist and had a consultation. So he basically just gave me the rundown of what was going to happen, what to expect. Kind of gave me scenarios of other forms of birth control, obviously to just make me aware of what else is out there. And then just told me how to prepare for the vasectomy, and that was basically it. So just a quick consultation. I don't think it took more than 10 minutes. Answered any of my questions that I had, and then that was that. So then about a month or two went by, and then I showed up for my vasectomy, or for the appointment, and there was actually a pill that I had to take prior to. It was a Valium. So it was just one pill I got from the pharmacy that he prescribed, and that's supposed to relax me. That's what it was supposed to do. So I took that, I think, an hour or two before the actual appointment, and then I had to have my wife there or someone there. You're gonna have to have someone to drive you home because the Valium supposedly makes you drowsy, so they don't want you driving home.
Did you actually feel like drowsy though?
I definitely took a long nap the next day. And I think I felt a little bit, but it wasn't like if you had like your tongue. It wasn't like waking up from from anesthesia or anything like that. So it wasn't actually bad. I probably could have done it, but just precaution, make sure you have someone take you home. So obviously Kehlani was there. So took the Valium, however you say it, and then showed up, and then from the waist down got undressed, had a gown on, and then do they need to know that word? No. Well, I go in.
Had my balls out.
I go in. and then the nurse brings me out to the table that procedure's gonna have, and so the doctor comes in and he numbs up both sides of the scrotum, and I felt more pressure there than anything. Like, it didn't really hurt that bad. It was just like pressure, uncomfortable pressure. Then he left for he left for about 10 minutes, and then when he came back in, he gave me one more shot of anesthesia, and that last one felt like a bee sting.
So he was awake.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I was awake.
That was a question too.
But let me also put in a warning. I did watch a YouTube video of a vasectomy, and that made it worse. I actually almost didn't want to go in. So I had a lot of questions when I actually watched the video. I don't know why I did it the night before.
I don't even think we watched like the right video though, did we?
No, we did, but I probably still didn't understand what was going on, but it just looked like, it didn't look good. So, don't watch that video. Don't watch videos before you go in. And if you do, you might just have a lot of questions. So, anyways, that last one felt like a bee sting. And then from there, me and the doctor just was having a conversation. And within 10 minutes, I would say, it was over. I was ready to go. So he just made a small little incision in the sac, and just from there, snipped both sides, cauterized it, and I was done. And so basically what they do is there's tubes called vas deferens, and that's the tubes that run the sperm to meet up with the semen to then take it out, right? So when they cut that, now it's just the seminal fluid. There's no sperm because those tubes have been cut and cauterized. So that's essentially how it works. You can Google or look into it more, ask your doctor or your urologist. It really wasn't that bad. And then I had a pack of frozen vegetables that we bought the day before, and I just kept that on and just switched out between two different ones each, every 30 minutes or so. And after a while, when the anesthesia wore off, because at first I didn't feel anything, anesthesia wore off, it literally felt like when you get kicked in that area and then like it goes away, right? The feeling of that initial sharp pain goes away. It's like that dull feeling. And that's basically the pain I felt.
For how long?
Probably for the next 48 to 72 hours. I think I meant, I think that's what I meant was 48 to 72 hours, wasn't it? Yeah, somewhere around there. No, wait, what's 3 days?
Why don't you just hit
3
3 days?
times 24, 3 times 20, it is 72 hours. Yeah, 72 hours is 3 days, I'm sorry. My math is off. But anyways, so it didn't take that long, but the instructions that you are given, or that I was given at least, is to completely be useless for the next two days. So the next 48 hours, absolutely nothing to be lifted. I couldn't even lift my kids, so I literally had to tell my wife to keep the kids away from me, because even if I wasn't carrying them, if they jumped on that area.
Yeah, because our kids, they like to jump on. Yeah.
Keep the ice pack on there, and then for the next, I think it was 21 days, I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't lift any heavy weights. No salsa time. Basically,
just say it.
Yeah. No sex or even ejaculation. So it didn't have to be sex, but no ejaculating for the next 21 days. Why is that funny? Be an adult.
I hope my grandma's not gonna watch this.
Grandma, mom, anyone who watches this, sorry. But so those are some and I played exactly by those rules. I didn't try to go to the gym early, even though it killed me, like not being able to work out. I listened because I wanted to make sure that this thing didn't get ruined. Those are some delicate parts, and so I wanted to make sure nothing was undone or ruined. So,
and we're not. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but some of the comments were saying like you're gonna have these effects happen to you, do you feel like different? Like, is there anything wrong with you?
No, I feel completely the same. Everything's the same. So yeah, I think I got better looking, I think, but that was it. But yeah.
Some other comments that I noticed was like, isn't this his experience? Because I posted it on my Instagram. Like, isn't this his experience to be posting about? Or why would you post this on Instagram? And hello, Papa. Our guest woke up. Anywho, the reason why I ended up posting it, because I wasn't gonna post it because there are just certain things I didn't want, because I knew that wasn't happening. People were gonna say, you know, this and that, and it's you know, these are private things that you know, some things you just don't want to share. But anyways, it happened in August. The procedure happened in August, and I didn't share until January because I was actually talking to one of my cousins, and she was just saying how she reminded me that there are a lot of women who might, you know, want that for their husband or just things like that. So I was like, you know what, that's true, because I feel like I wouldn't have seen or heard more about it because I was watching other people post about it or like talking about it or seeing a YouTube about it. It was just cool that she reminded me that, you know, maybe somebody needed to, you know, hear our experience. Maybe that'll, you know, help them, or you know, if they have questions about it, if that's something that they're thinking about, maybe us sharing our experience can help. So, and I feel like it did, because there were a lot of good comments also that were just saying like, you know, we've been thinking about it for a long time, or we wanted to do this, things like that. So that was the reason why I posted it, and I posted it on my channel just because I want to. That's why. It was hard too. It was hard because I feel like that was the most hate I've gotten on social media, because I've been creating content for a few years now, and that was like the worst. Just not even comments about myself, but comments about like my family or about him. It was just annoying, and but I just kept having to remind myself that
but there was more, I feel like there was more positive comments than negative. If you weigh them out, there was definitely more positive.
Yeah. Some comments and questions. Like I asked him if he, you know, he feels any different, or I was kind of worried when I seen some of these comments, because I was like, is that true? About having like low sex drive, or a lot of some people were saying like they just didn't understand what a vasectomy was, so they were thinking it's actually cutting off the male parts. I don't know why, but
yeah, and that's kind of what I saw in the video when I watched it. So that's probably the same video that he saw, but it was only showing, like I said, those vas deferens in the video, so it makes it look like you're completely cutting, but it's only showing what it's cutting off, and so it kind of looks like that,
but that's not a vasectomy either.
Yeah, but everything's the same. Everything is the same. I'm completely the same person, just without the ability to procreate right now. So yeah, there was a lot of I would say the main comments that I was responding to was that I would never let a woman tell me to do that, right? Or women saying I would never ask my man to do that. Basically making it seem like we were divided on this, and I had to be, you know, she was basically telling me to do it and I had to listen. It's like, that wasn't it at all. I volunteered, you know, I volunteered for, to do it. I mean, obviously we talked about it, but I volunteered. She wasn't gonna force me to do anything, and I wouldn't do it if I wasn't comfortable. But I think what will help me is I actually have my manager at work has done it to another guy that I used to work with has done it. It's more common than you actually think.
People just don't talk about it.
I think if you go to a grocery store and you talk to, you know, men that are of age that have had children already, and you talk to 10 of them, this is not fact, but I bet you would find a good handful of people in that group that have done it. I mentioned it to clients at work too, and that I was doing it, and they're like, oh yeah, I did that a long time ago. So it was just like, wow, this is more common than I thought.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, a lot of men have done this, and it's not like a rare thing where it's like, I don't know anyone that has done it.
Yeah.
So I had good support. I had people that I could talk to that gave me their experience. The best part was getting a sample tested, a semen sample tested, and finding out that I'm at 0 count.
So make sure you do that, because we didn't. So
yeah, I was supposed to go back in 3 months, which would have been November, I think. September, October. Yeah, and I didn't get to it until just last month, right?
Yeah.
Like February. So we went 6 months, but yeah, it was good to get the call that I was at 0 and we have nothing to worry about anymore. So there's a small there's like a very, very small chance, very, very small chance. It's very, very small. And we've had people comment that in a year after doing it, after doing the vasectomy, that they actually had a child. I would say go get tested, make sure that's your child. But yeah, it's very rare. So
but
it's a very safe procedure.
If that was to happen, I feel like like it was meant to be. So that's what I always say. Like, if that rare case happens to come about, then yeah, I mean, what can you do?
But it's a safe procedure. The pain is way less than pregnancy and giving birth, and so I think it's worth it if you decide to do it. If you and your spouse come to that agreement that that's the one, then that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So we're here to encourage. This video, I like it because I think this can encourage men who have thought about it but maybe haven't, and they'd like to do it but just haven't done it. And I would do it again, honestly, if I needed to. So yeah.
So we hope this video was helpful. We wanted to share just our experience and our knowledge about this experience, and like we said, it's more common than you think. People just aren't talking about it, so that's why we wanted to share. So we hope that this is helpful. If we need to do a part 2 to answer more questions, leave a comment in the comment box. Like I said, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to this channel, and if you have any suggestions of what kind of videos you want to see from us or from just me, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.